watching Canal Algérie, and I'm your host, Karim Zachary. Coming up next in our news program. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, receives the Mauritanian Interior and Decentralization Minister, Mohamed Salam Ould Merzoug. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, calls for consolidating the role of diplomacy to defend the country's interests during the meeting held with the heads of diplomacy. The Algerian-Libyan military cooperation and security challenges topped the meeting by the Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Saïd Chengriha, and his Libyan counterpart, Mohammed Ali Al-Haddad. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received on Monday the Mauritanian Interior and Decentralization Minister, Mohamed Salam Ould Merzoug. The audience was attended by the Principal Private Secretary of the Presidency, Abdelaziz Khalaf, and the Interior Minister, Kamal Beljoud.
It has been my honor to be received by the President of the Algerian Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, to whom I conveyed the greetings of his brother and friend, Mohammed al-Sheikh al-Ghazouani, the President of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania. The meeting was of a high level, during which the President of the Republic confirmed the interest given by the people and the Algerian government to the development and deepening of cooperation relations with the Islamic Republic of Mauritania. For his part, the Algerian President asked me to convey his greetings to his brother Mohammed al-Sheikh al-Ghazouani and to extend an invitation to him at his convenience for a visit to Algeria. He also instructed me to boost cooperation in different sectors and develop existing cooperation through the bilateral commission in charge of border management between our two countries.
The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, chaired on Monday the opening ceremony of the Conference of Heads of Algerian Diplomacy and Consular Missions at the Palace of Nations here in Algiers. He was welcomed by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ramtala Mamra, and other high-ranking officials. Manal Maafa provides us with more.
Upon his arrival, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, greeted the senior officials of the state. The President of the Council of the Nation, Salah Goudil, Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, Ayman Ben Abderrahman, the President of the Constitutional Council, Kamal Finish, and the Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, Lieutenant General Saïd Chengriha, and high state executives. On this occasion, the President of the Republic highlighted that this meeting held during November, which is highly symbolic for the Algerian diplomacy, calling for the reinforcement of its role in the defense of the country's interests, adding that Algeria is about to complete the last step in the renewal of state institutions with the upcoming local elections. These latter will see major participation of youth. The President recalled that this meeting will be held from now on a yearly basis as a tradition of exchange and assessment of our international diplomatic actions. The meeting comes in a context marked by unprecedented changes, calling also for the involvement of our community established abroad in the economic development process by opening channels of direct communication with this community and providing toll-free numbers. President Tebboune emphasized that the state will defend all Algerian nationals wherever they are in the world and urged the concerned authorities to facilitate the procedures when it comes to the repatriation of Algerian nationals' remains following their death abroad. President Tebboune called the members of the Algerian diplomatic and consular missions to preserve our country's interests, its security and sovereignty by promoting and protecting national production, also by further consolidating the relations with the European Union and the African Union organizations, as it is high time for our diplomacy to truly serve the national economy. Furthermore, the President of the Republic stressed the importance of Algeria's membership in the Security Council in 2024 and 2025 and participation in maintaining peace and security in the world, as the current challenges are far more dangerous due to the latest developments in the region and the hotbeds of tension spread along Algeria's borders and within its neighboring countries, especially in Western Sahara, with the resumption of military armed operations between the Polisario Front and the occupying Moroccan forces, an issue which is still unsettled due to foreign interference in addition to organized crime and terrorism. Concerning our domestic affairs, Abdelmajid Tebboune said that Algeria will be intransigent. He added that the state is well aware of all the maneuvers aiming to weaken and destabilize our country, especially through what is known as the Fourth Generation War, as part of a border scheme targeting Africa and the Middle East. As a result, the president called upon all Algerians to show the same spirit of vigilance, commitment and sacrifices that characterized our ancestors to preserve Algeria's higher interests. President Tebboune urged the concerned authorities to continue their efforts in accompanying the joint Arab proceedings through a set of guidelines and conditions allowing the successful holding of the next Arab summit in the capital Algiers. An excellent opportunity, said the President of the Republic, not only to renew the member states' commitment to the Arab Peace Initiative by defending and supporting the Palestinian cause, but also to study a file on the Arab League's reform for a better Arab cooperation. In a different context, the President of the Republic stated that the world witnessed unprecedented changes due to a series of factors that requires continuous adjustment operations for the Algerian diplomacy and its fields of involvement. On the other hand, Abdelmajid Tebboune concluded his speech by the dysfunctioning in the world order in dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, which will have for sure serious repercussions on the world's future.
Following the President's meeting with the heads of diplomacy, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the National Community Abroad, Rumtala Mamra, stressed that this meeting comes in a new context and seen before in the diplomatic action of our country, thanks to the decisions taken by the President of the Republic,
whose slogan is Algerian diplomacy and the international challenges of the new Algeria, is held under new dynamics that our diplomacy is witnessing thanks to the decisions taken recently by the President of the Republic, following which nearly 80 heads of diplomatic and consular missions abroad were appointed, in addition to the creation of 7 new positions of special envoys in charge of international activities according to themes reflecting the interests and the priorities of our country during the current global conjuncture.
The Speaker of the Council of the Nation, or Upper House of Parliament, Salah Goujil, received the Vice President of the Libyan Presidential Council, Musa Al-Kouni, now on a 2-day official visit to Algeria along a number of officers. The chairman of the National People's Assembly, Ibrahim Boughali, received on Monday the Vice President of the Libyan Presidential Council, Musa Al-Kouni. The two parties reviewed the ways and means of strengthening the relations between the two countries and the efforts made by Algeria in order to establish peace in this brotherly country and provide it with the necessary support, especially during the current stage. The Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, Lieutenant General Saïd Shengriha, received the Army Chief of Staff of the Libyan Government National Unity, Lieutenant General Mohammed Ali Al-Haddad, in the context of strengthening bilateral military cooperation. More details with Ines Killu.
The Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, Lieutenant General Saïd Shengriha, received on Monday, November 8, 2021, at the headquarters of the High Command of the National People's Army, his Libyan counterpart, the Army Chief of Staff of the Libyan Government's National Unity, Lieutenant General Mohammed Ali Al-Haddad. The meeting was attended by the Secretary General of the Ministry of National Defense, commanders of the forces and of the National Gendarmerie, the heads of departments and the central directors of the Ministry of National Defense and of the High Command of the National Popular Army, as well as members of the visiting Libyan delegation. During their discussions, the two parties talked about the regional security context, stressing the need to coordinate efforts to face new challenges, especially at the southern common borders of the two countries, and to examine ways and means of strengthening their military cooperation. In addition, the two sides exchanged views on issues of common interest. The meeting was also an opportunity that the Lieutenant General Saïd Chingriha sees to recall the ancient historical relations that have bound the two brotherly peoples, especially during the revolution of November 1st, 1954. The Lieutenant General Saïd Chingriha also expressed the wish to see in the near future Libya regain its positive role in the region and in the African continent. He said that Libya played an important role in the recent past in resolving conflicts and bringing together the views of states on the African continent. In addition, it has promoted the establishment of African institutions capable of creating all the conditions for development, prosperity, and progress for their peoples, and ensure the sustainability of security and stability in the countries of that continent and beyond. He also stressed on the necessity to speed up the end of the crisis that Libya is going through. For his part, the Chief of Staff of Government of National Unity of Libya, Lieutenant General Mohammed Ali al-Haddad, expressed the gratitude of the Libyan people for Algeria's tireless efforts to bridge the gap between the different Libyan conflicting parties and to unify the Libyan internal front. At the end of the meeting, Lieutenant General Mohammed Ali al-Haddad signed the Golden Book of the High Command of the National Popular Army.
In a plenary session chaired by the Speaker of the People's National Assembly, Ibrahim Boughali, the Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, Ayman bin Abdurrahman, presented the Finance Draft Bill 2022 for discussion before MPs of the lower house of Parliament. The Prime Minister, Minister of Finance presented a set of indicators and figures contained in the draft bill with the aim of encouraging investment and diversifying production away from hydrocarbon sector, stressing that the state, under the leadership of the President of the Republic, will attach the utmost importance to the daily concerns of citizens, which was included in the text of the draft law. The Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, during the session attended by the Minister of Relations with Parliament, Basma Zwar, and members of the government, stressed that the draft law works to rationalize public expenditures, frame foreign trade, and maintain the state's financial balances. The proceedings of the first session of the Algerian-Mauritanian Bilateral Border Commission kicked off on Monday here in Algiers, co-chaired by the Interior Minister Kamal Beljoud and his Mauritanian counterpart Mohamed Salem Ould Merzoug. This meeting is an opportunity to expose the problems facing the residents of the border areas and to promote development in all its dimensions. The insights in this report by Rania Al-Bahari.
The proceedings of the first session of the Algerian-Mauritanian Bilateral Border Commission kicked off on Monday here in Algiers, co-chaired by Interior Minister Kamal Beljoud and his Mauritanian counterpart Mohamed Salem Ould Merzoug. The governors of Adrar, Tindouf and Tris Zemmour provinces, as well as representatives of ministerial and security services from the two countries, participated in this meeting, which comes after long historical relations that have recently witnessed more dynamics capable of giving a new direction to bilateral cooperation and opening promising prospects for development for the benefit of the two countries. Mohamed Salem Ould Merzoug said that this meeting is an opportunity to expose the problems facing populations living in border areas and to promote development in all its dimensions, adding that the results of this meeting will allow improving investment opportunities, concretizing and strengthening partnership projects, and combating organized crime and illegal immigration. In the same context, Beljoud added that building these relations on solid foundations relations will help meeting the demands of good neighborliness, which is very important given the aspirations of the two peoples and the security challenges in the region, and opposing any attempt to threaten joint security, especially after the assassination of 3 Algerian nationals who were driving on the Nouakchott-Wirgla road connection. Mohammed Salim Wild Marzouk paid a visit to the headquarters of the Scientific and Technical Police Subdirectorate, where he was briefed on the modern methods used in various disciplines. This visit allowed the Mauritanian minister to get acquainted with the most important technical means used in a number of fields and to learn about the various specializations, modern services and equipment used in this field.
And finally, in our news, on the occasion of the Civil Sahrawi Prisoner National Day, right after dawn, the Moroccan occupation forces have stricken again by raiding the home of the female Sahrawi activist and militant Sultana Khaya in the occupied town of Bajdour, northern Laayoune, Saqia al-Hamra region. Sultana Khaya, her sister Al-Warda, and their mother were brutally assaulted and even injected with an unknown substance. That's the end of our news program. Thanks for watching. Good night.